Charlie Brennan at the Budweiser Brewhouse, and we are ready on this Friday morning, just before the men's qualifier against St. Vincent and the Grenadines. World Cup match across the street at Busch Stadium tonight at 5:30. The Guardian magazine has called our next guest the greatest American male soccer player of all time. MVP award in MLS is now the Landon Donovan Award. 6-time MLS Cup winner, U.S. all-time leader in goals and assists, and a 7-time Honda Player of the Year. Please give me a nice St. Louis welcome to Mr. Landon Donovan.
He scores for Everton and beats the Mexicans.
St. Louis Chamber Chorus.
Not bad.
That's cool.
Not bad.
Not a bad introduction. Hey, welcome. You're in St. Louis, part of Liberty Mutual's tour, which is the third largest insurance company in the United States. And, you know, when you've got a company like that backing soccer, Landon, has arrived.
It doesn't hurt, right? Yeah, and when you see a crowd like this and what's going to be an amazing game tonight, you know that the city cares and the country cares about soccer, so it's great.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So are you going to be at the game tonight?
Unfortunately, I am traveling tonight to Manchester to be part of a game for charity that Mr. David Beckham invited me to, so I'm going to have to find a way somehow on the flight to pay attention to the game.
So much for a leisurely retirement.
A lot of work to do.
You know, we were mentioning last hour, in fact, we have a woman here from Germany. Lived there 11 years, now makes St. Louis her home. And I said, okay, so what's it going to take for the United States to have a men's team? You know, we've never been a World Cup champion, never been in the finals. What's it going to take in this country, Landon, for us to compete with her country?
With the Germans? It's a big picture question and answer, and I think people get excited, understandably, about what's going on currently, but I, having grown up in this system, see the big picture too, and the big picture is developing players that are capable of winning a World Cup. So if you haven't checked, we've never developed a Messi or a Neymar or a Cristiano Ronaldo, players like that are big difference makers, and that's where we have to do it. And that's there's a long-winded answer as to how we do that, but that's what we have to do.
Well, for example, what would you say on the local level in St. Louis? What needs to be done to, you know, create the next player who's going to, you know, make this team the World Cup winner?
Well, I actually last night went out to Lufu's soccer club and surprised two teams. Liberty Mutual was kind enough to set up a really cool appearance last night at their practice, and the coaches are doing a fantastic job. When I was growing up, I had a coach with a baseball hat and a whistle and a clipboard telling me how to kick a soccer ball, and now they have either former players, people who played in college, people who played professionally in some instances, people who know the game, watch it every morning on the weekends, watch MLS games during the evening on the weekends. They know what they're talking about, and they're teaching the kids how to do things the right way, and that's a big plus.
How old were you when you were playing in Germany?
I was 17.
17, yeah. You turned pro at 17. That's unbelievable.
That is correct.
You didn't like Germany too much, did you? With all due respect to this nice woman?
I actually liked Germany. I didn't like the fact that I wasn't playing soccer. So I went there when I was 17, and for 2 years I trained and played some games with the youth teams, but never got a chance, and understandably so. I wasn't ready. In retrospect, I can look back and say I wasn't ready for it, but never had the chance to play, so at that time it was better for me to find a place where I could play.
Pretty amazing story, because your mom, I'm told, thought you were a little obsessive about soccer, so she pushed you into violin, right?
That is true. Where'd you hear that story?
I don't know. So do you still play the violin?
I do not. I wasn't too fond of playing the violin, but my mom wanted me to sort of try different things.
Right.
So I tried it. I have some video of it that hopefully never surfaces. And I'm glad I stuck with soccer.
But she also, I mean, you got to credit your mom. She got you into Spanish lessons, and you probably never thought that it would be really helpful marketing yourself as an international soccer player, but those Spanish lessons came in handy, didn't they?
Well, I grew up playing in Southern California where there's a lot of Latino Americans, so I literally for 3 or 4 years I played on a club team that was 95% Hispanic. And I realized really quickly that if I didn't learn some certain soccer words, they just weren't going to pass me the ball. So it was sort of by survival. I had to figure that out, and then I was able to take it in high school too. And I'm very glad because in this sport, in this country, if you can connect with the Hispanic population too, I think it's a big plus.
Your mom was real happy that you were a straight A student.
I was. Yeah. But I was...
it's funny because we're going to talk to Lori Kolupny next hour. She was too.
I saw that. She's a lot smarter than I am.
Well, I don't... I'm sorry to interrupt you.
She's also a World Cup winner.
Yeah. Do you know Lori?
I've met her, yes.
Yeah. You were there in Vancouver last July 5th, weren't you?
I was. I had the opportunity to go up to the final, which was really cool. I don't know if any of you guys had that opportunity, but it was really special for me. I said this to my agent and my wife afterwards. I've seen a ton of sporting events in my life. I've seen thousands of soccer games. I love sports. I've watched on TV my whole life. Very, very rarely do I get inspired at a sporting event. And when I was sitting there 20 minutes in, sitting next to my agent, my jaw dropped, and I felt like I was completely raw and just experiencing it. Because usually as an athlete now, you see it through somewhat jaded lens, and it's not the same, but I was completely in the moment and completely in awe of what I was seeing.
I guess. Now, let me ask you, what do you think of Michael Jackson?
Michael Jackson?
I thought that was one of the funniest press conferences of all time. Where were you the day Michael Jackson died?
Were we in... Where were we?
It was 2009.
Confederations Cup.
Confederations
Cup.
So
to fill everyone in who's going, what the heck is going on here? We were in a Confederations Cup press conference, 2009. I think it was myself and Bob Bradley were on the podium doing a press conference. And it was the day, that morning, Michael Jackson had passed away. So, of course, in America, we were in South Africa, by the way. So in America, it was a big deal, and we were following on the news and our phones and everything. And some reporter randomly asked what it meant to U.S. soccer that Michael Jackson had... And we both sort of looked at each other like, you want to take this one? You know?
The press conference is still on YouTube. There were like 3 questions about Michael Jackson.
Yeah, go watch it. It's pretty uncomfortable.
Well, glad to bring that part of your past back up for consumption. So what should we be looking for tonight?
I would expect, and I'm hopeful, that it's a win and a comfortable win, but these games are never easy. So if there's any complacency, you can get punished. And you have to remember, for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, who none of us really know anything about, this is the biggest soccer game they will ever play in. And this is a chance for young men to maybe give themselves a better life, get seen by somebody in America or somewhere else that will give them a chance to be a professional and make money and support their families. So they're coming into with that attitude. So if our guys don't realize that, then they're going to be in for a little bit of a surprise. But I'm sure they've got it figured out.